Welcome back to the deep dive. So, I want to start today with a mental image.
Okay.
I want you to picture the ultimate Hollywood insider.
Mm.
I mean, someone born into the industry, rose to the absolute peak of global fame, and has been a fixture on the red carpet for, what, 30 years?
You're picturing Angelina Jolie.
You are picturing Angelina Jolie,
Mm-hmm.
naturally,
She is the archetype.
right? But here's the curveball, and it's the whole reason we're talking about her today. The news isn't about her next blockbuster or who she's dating or what she wore to the Oscars.
Mm.
The news is that she's leaving. She is packing up and moving out of Los Angeles.
And honestly, it's about time.
See, that's interesting because the knee-jerk reaction I'm seeing everywhere is just, oh, she's quitting.
Yep.
People hear leaving L.A., and they immediately think retirement. They think she's retreating to a bunker somewhere to hide.
That is the standard narrative, sure, but it's completely wrong. If you really look at the reality of this situation, this isn't a retreat. It's a quiet shift.
Quiet shift.
And frankly, it's one of the most fascinating case studies in autonomy and, well, psychology that we've seen in the celebrity world in a long, long time. She isn't running away from the industry. She's fundamentally changing the physics of her life.
Changing the physics. I love that. So our mission today is to figure out how she's doing that, and I guess more importantly, why.
Right.
Because on paper, L.A. is the dream, isn't it? It's where the money is, it's where the power is. Yeah. So why does one of the most famous women on the planet decide that the city of dreams is actually a nightmare she needs to wake up from?
To understand that, you have to understand what Los Angeles actually is. We see the palm trees and the sunshine, but for someone like Jolie, LA isn't a city.
What is it?
It's a workplace. Imagine living inside your office building, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for decades.
That sounds miserable.
It is, and it's not just any office. It's a company town where the main export is you.
Okay, so let's unpack that, because I think regular people, people like me, we look at celebrities and we think, cry me a river. You have millions of dollars, you have a mansion in the hills? How bad can the pressure really be? Is it really a pressure cooker, or is that just dramatic flair?
It's not flair. Think about the specific stressors involved here. We aren't just talking about, getting recognized at Starbucks.
Right.
We're talking about an environment built entirely on scrutiny. Every time she leaves her driveway, there is a lens. Every time there's a court filing, and there have been many, it's not a private legal matter.
It's global news.
It's global news content within minutes.
So the line between personal life and public commodity just
doesn't exist. Exactly. In LA, for her, there is no off switch. The industry and the city are inextricably linked. The article we're looking at describes LA as representing Hollywood at its most intense. So if you're trying to heal or grow or just have a quiet Sunday, you're doing it in a place that is structurally designed to expose you.
It's like trying to plant a meditation garden in the middle of Times Square.
That's a perfect analogy.
You can build the walls as high as you want, but you can still hear the honking.
That's it. The soil itself is toxic to the things she is trying to grow, which is privacy. And that's the tipping point. This move isn't a sudden impulse.
No.
It's the realization that the values she prioritizes now, stability, emotional safety, privacy, are fundamentally incompatible with the infrastructure of Los Angeles.
So she's not just moving house, she's moving ecosystems.
Precisely. She is acknowledging that you cannot live a private life in a city that is built on exposure. It's a meaningful choice to physically remove herself from the mechanism that turns her life into content.
But surely she knows that the paparazzi exist outside of California, right? I mean, she's Angelina Jolie. She goes to Paris, they'll be there.
Of course.
She goes to London, they'll be there. Is moving really going to solve the problem?
That is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And the answer is, well, yes and no. You can't become invisible. But you can change the ratio. In LA, the paparazzi are an industry. In other places, they're a nuisance. But more importantly, this isn't just about her. It's about the 6 other people living in that house.
The kids.
The kids. You cannot analyze this move without looking at the motherhood factor.
The insight that really struck me was this idea of identity. There was a point made that growing up in that LA bubble leaves the children with little room for anonymity.
Little room is a massive understatement. Think about what it's like to form your own personality when you're 15 or 16. It's hard enough, right?
Yeah, impossible.
Now imagine doing it when the entire world views you not as a person, but as an extension of a celebrity parent.
Oof. Extension of a celebrity parent. That's heavy. It's like being a limb instead of a human being.
Exactly. They are footnotes in her biography. And in Los Angeles, that narrative is reinforced constantly. Every school event, every trip to the mall, the context is always, there is Angelina Jolie's child.
So the move is an attempt to give them a blank slate.
It's an attempt to give them a fighting chance at a blank slate. The goal, and this is explicitly what she's aiming for, is normalcy.
Normalcy.
She wants schools without paparazzi camped at the gate. She wants neighborhoods where a kid can walk down the street without a camera in their face.
It's wild to think that normal is the ultimate luxury good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one thing you can't buy on Rodeo Drive.
You can't buy it, you have to move for it. She's trading convenience and familiarity for the chance that her kids can make mistakes, have awkward phases, and figure out who they are without it being documented on TMZ.
It's a protective measure.
It's absolutely protective. It's a mother realizing that the environment that made her rich is actively harmful to the development of her children.
But let's play devil's advocate for a second. Is it possible to truly shield them? They have phones. Their friends have phones. I mean, we live in a surveillance state.
We do?
Is leaving LA actually going to work, or is it just a symbolic gesture?
I think it's more than symbolic. Look, you're right. You can't escape the digital age. But there is a difference between a peer taking a photo and a grown man with a telephoto lens yelling your name to get a reaction.
Oh.
That is the LA reality versus the goal she's seeking. By leaving, she removes the professional surveillance. She removes the industry that feeds on them.
So she's taking them out of the zoo. People might still look, but they aren't behind glass anymore.
That's a great way to put it. And that autonomy for the kids, it mirrors the autonomy she's looking for in her own career.
Right.
Because, and we need to be very clear about this, she's not retiring.
Right. I think that's where people get confused. They think leaving Hollywood means leaving acting. But that's not the case at all.
Not even close. In fact, I would argue this move might make her work better.
How so? I mean, usually out of sight means out of mind in that town.
If you're an up-and-comer, yes. If you're hustling for auditions, you need to be in the room. But Angelina Jolie is past that.
Way past that.
She doesn't need to network at parties. What she needs is freedom from expectations.
What kind of expectations?
The expectation to perform the role of Angelina Jolie, movie star.
Yeah.
Hollywood puts women, especially as they get older, into very neat little boxes. You're the ingenue, then you're the leading lady, then you're the mother, then you're the grande dame. It's a very rigid path.
And she has never really been good at staying on the path.
Never. She directs. She produces very difficult, challenging projects. She speaks openly about trauma. She's an advocate. These aren't the actions of someone trying to be America's sweetheart.
No.
By leaving LA, she physically distances herself from the pressure to fit that mold.
It allows her to engage on her own terms.
On her own terms is the key phrase. When you are in the mix, in the soup of LA, you are constantly reacting to the industry. You're reacting to scripts, to trends, to gossip.
Mm-hmm.
When you step away, you gain the space to be proactive. You choose what you want to do, not what the town thinks you should do.
It reminds me of that point about where she feels most alive.
Yeah.
And it's not on a soundstage.
No, it's when she is engaged with the wider world. And this is why the leaving LA narrative is so funny to me. We treat LA like it's the center of the universe.
Right.
But for Jolie, looking at her humanitarian work refugees, conflict zones, women's rights LA, has always just been a base. It's a logistics hub.
It's an airport lounge she stays in between the real trip.
Exactly. Her mental map of the world is vast. She has spent years in places where celebrity means nothing and survival means everything.
Right.
When you have that perspective, the petty politics of a studio lot probably feel incredibly small.
So moving away isn't isolating herself. It's actually aligning her physical location with her mental location.
Yes, she is placing herself in the world rather than in the bubble. And that brings us to the most interesting concept that came out of this deep dive, the idea of the center of gravity.
Okay, let's dig into that, because that feels like the philosophical core of who she's doing.
It is. Think about how gravity works. A massive object pulls everything else towards it. For decades, Hollywood was the sun, and Angelina Jolie, like everyone else in the industry, was a planet orbiting around it.
Mm-hmm.
Her schedule, her home, her public image, everything was determined by the gravitational pull of the industry.
And
Now, she is flipping the physics. She is saying, I am the sun, or perhaps my family is the sun. Hollywood is just a planet that orbits me. I will visit it when I have a movie to promote. I will use it when I need to tell a story, but it does not dictate where I sleep or how I live.
That is a massive power move.
It is the ultimate power move. It's saying, I am bigger than the machine that made me.
But is that arrogant?
Yeah.
Or is it just a bit healthy?
I think it's evolution. Look at the
Yeah.
timeline of her life. She started as the wild child, the rebel. Then she became the global icon, the Brad Pitt era, the super fame, then the humanitarian. Now she is entering a phase of intentionality.
Intentionality.
Yes. The mood is defined by three things: distance, intention, and control. Distance gives you perspective. Intention means you are living on purpose, not just reacting. And control.
Well, for someone whose narrative has been hijacked by tabloids for 30 years, taking control of where she wakes up in the morning is a radical act.
But reclaiming the narrative by physically removing herself from the writer's room.
I couldn't have put it better myself. She is taking the pen back. She's saying, if you want to know where I am, you'll have to wait until I tell you. I'm not going to be at the Ivy for you to photograph.
You know, as we talk about this, I'm realizing this isn't really a celebrity story. I mean, it is, but the underlying mechanics feel very relatable.
How so?
Well, obviously, I can't move my family to a chateau in France or wherever she's going. But the feeling of mistaking your workplace for your world, that hits home.
It should. That is the universal lesson here.
Because we all do it, right? We live in these little bubbles. Maybe it's not Hollywood. Maybe it's the tech scene in San Francisco.
Or the corporate ladder in New York. Or maybe it's just your specific office politics in a small town. You get so wrapped up in it that you think the rules of that building are the rules of life.
Exactly. We let our careers become our center of gravity. We organize our friendships, our weekends, our self-worth around our jobs. And just like Jolie in LA, we eventually realize that the environment might be toxic to the things we actually care about.
But we stay because it's convenient. Or because we're scared.
You know, because we think we have to. We think, well, this is where the industry is. This is where the money is. Jolie's proving that if you have enough value, and granted, she has a lot of value, you can dictate the terms.
Right.
But even on a smaller scale, you have the power to shift your center of gravity.
It's about asking, does this environment serve me or do I serve it?
Right. And if the answer is I serve it, and it's extracting a toll on your mental health or your family, then maybe it's time to plot a new course.
Even if that means a quiet shift. It doesn't have to be a dramatic explosion. It can just be leaving.
It can just be packing a bag and choosing peace.
It's funny, we started this deep dive talking about a superstar leaving a city, and we ended up talking about existential autonomy.
That's usually how the good stories go. The surface is just the hook. The depth is in the human decision-making.
So before we sign off, I want to leave you, our listeners, with that thought. We've spent this time analyzing Angelina Jolie's map, but maybe look at your own map.
Yes, that is the challenge.
Ask yourself,
Yeah.
where is your center of gravity right now? Is it anchored in your own values, your own family, your own why? Or is it anchored in a workplace that you've mistaken for the world?
And if you realize you're orbiting the wrong sun, what would it look like to fire your thrusters and move?
A little space travel for the soul. I like it.
It's worth thinking about.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.